Hello everybody, we are going live today with Michali again to answer a question that's been posted on our forum. A really good one today. Let's just wait for Michali to pop on. And she is here, punctual as usual. Here we go, accept. Hello Michali.
Hi, how are you?
Good, great to see you again. Thank you for...
Nice to see you too.
All right, awesome. So let's get right to it. We have a good question today. You want to read it?
Yes. Okay. So the question is, how can I view therapists in a non-idealized way? For example, I know someone who does a lot. She's a therapist, coaches people, she's involved with the website, and I just idealize her and almost lose access to her humane part. How do I view therapists as people too when I only see one side? I don't see their anxieties and insecurities. I see their calm, cool, and collected persona that is really hard to imagine how they really are as a person. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, do you want to go for it? What were your initial thoughts when you heard this question?
So my initial thoughts were twofold. My I'm gonna just be brutally honest. My initial instinct was to tell her, "Oh my gosh, no, we're all human. Don't worry about it." But then the therapist part of my brain went, well, what happens with this person when she sees cool, calm, collected people?
Mm-hmm.
Does she have a hard time being herself? Does she have a hard time accepting her own insecurities? Why does she need to see other people's insecurities and anxieties? What does that do for her? So those would be some of the questions I would have for this person. I'm just looking up the question. Um, I think that, this happens to be the case not just with therapists, but I think with clergy, rabbanim,
Mm-hmm.
mentors, kala teachers, doctors, anyone in an authority position, right?
Exactly.
Or just
We don't
what?
I think the whole concept of not seeing the insecurity side, I think almost she answered her own question. Because I don't see that side, I idealize them. But you're acknowledging that there's something that you're not seeing. So you need to use that part of your brain that understands that you're not seeing a full picture, and therefore it's hard to imagine it, but we need to expand on, our imagination and realize that we're just not seeing that. Just because we don't judge things just on based on what we see as adults, right?
Exactly.
But it,
Exactly. Like that famous line, don't judge your insides by someone else's outsides.
Mhm.
Um, but I think this goes for even, I can't even tell you how many times people say to me, that lady down the street, I'm so intimidated by her,
Mhm.
because she just gets her makeup just right, or she has the most perfect shaitel, or,
Yeah.
she seems to have it all together. She does chesed and she has 85,000 kids and, and she's on the board of this and board of that. They seem to be doing well financially, and then people feel intimidated. And then they say to me, yeah, they're so lucky they have da 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 da, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we don't know what people's pain is.
Mhm.
We don't know. Every single human being, therapists included, Rabbanim included,
Mhm.
that lady you see down the street included, has some kind of pain, has some kind of struggle,
Mhm.
and they are doing the best they can to manage it.
Mhm.
With the tools that they have at their disposal. And I think that when it comes specifically to therapists, this is my own pet peeve a little bit, is that I do believe that therapists should practice what they preach.
Mhm.
I'm a big believer in I don't feel like it's ethical for me to treat somebody if I haven't worked on that piece of things myself, if it is applicable.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's really important that, when I, let's say, supervise social work interns, that they have gone through their own therapy and that they understand what it means to struggle through emotional stuff and
Mhm.
to work on themselves in this kind of therapeutic way. But I think that therapists are definitely human, and it would be unprofessional for them to not be cool, calm, and collected in a therapy session.
Mhm.
And so getting back to the question again, what I would want to explore more with this person is, where does this need come from?
Mhm.
And understand what their relational needs are, and
Mhm.
most likely their
Why did they
attachment wounds.
why did
Yeah,
they vulnerability? Right. And one more point
exactly.
to add is just this concept of idealize. can we switch that word to something else, right? Like I feel like certain words are just very stuck words, like idealize, jealous. They kind of like let us throw up our hands. There's nothing I can do. But if you change it to I'm inspired by, then you can identify what is it about the therapist or the clergy or whoever it is that I'm inspired by, and then how can I access that in my own life? Like the world is your oyster. Like you can access different components of different things that you feel like you are attracted to or that you want. So if it's
Yes.
calmness, then how can you bring more calm into your life or in your
Yes.
relationships or into your interactions? Because you don't know if that therapist is calm outside of the office, but at least she's able to, or he's able to maintain that sense of calm in the office. So how can you work on maintaining a certain sense of calm and collectedness within a certain presence of some sort? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I completely agree. I remember learning, I mean, this is more of like a Jewish concept, but the idea of like, envy or jealousy and how there is room, with like a Jewish perspective, um, for appropriate jealousy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we say, "Kinna sofrim tarba chachma," right? That's just
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah.
and I think that um, there is appropriate jealousy and envy when it comes to seeing somebody react to situations appropriately and they're able to manage their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
But what we do with that is key to whether it's healthy spiritually or unhealthy spiritually, and I would say also healthy or unhealthy emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at that person, and I love how you're reframing that it's not idealized, it's inspired.
Right.
Um, and I think that when we can look at that and go, ooh, how do they do it? Instead of, oh, what's wrong with me? Why can I get my act together? It's, I
Correct.
wonder how I can get there. Let
Right.
me ask them what,
Exactly.
and I think the other piece, and this is just like a little trick I've used in my own life
Mm-hmm.
is that whenever I feel intimidated, I compliment. The
Mm-hmm.
thing that makes me intimidated, I'll go up to the person and say, I cannot believe, I'm just going to use the example I gave before, your shadel. It
Yeah.
looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Tell me, how do you get it like that? Ask them questions about it after you
Mm-hmm.
compliment, and then you'll learn how to use that inspiration and apply it.
Lord, exactly, exactly. Or just read up on, I mean, okay, in this case, like a chaitel, it's easy. If it's somebody that's maybe you're not able to connect with that easily, then there's always like books, there's always, ways of accessing whatever that underlying thing is. It might not be such an external thing, it might be more of like a sense of calm, but there's so many ways to access that. There's so many ways to to access that and to know that just because you're seeing it, that doesn't mean it's the truth. So like recognize that within yourself, and you could still feel that way, but it doesn't mean it's like, is it 100% true? As adults, we need to know that not everything that we see is the way it is. It's just appearances are very different than reality. So that
Yeah,
wraps up 7 minutes, Michali, I think.
amazing.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
well, thank you, Faye.
Helpful. Thank you. Next week we'll see each other again. Take care.
I'm looking forward to it. Bye.
Everybody that tuned in, take care. Bye bye.